Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the free-to-play account. I was just sitting down, was going to go through some content on here. Thought might as well hop up in a live stream real quick. That way we can go through some. I've been trying to figure out and farm the Nightmare Corridor and going through there with the free-to-play teams. It's been incredibly hard with progression. So I'm thinking between the peaks, between the Temple Rift, the Thrilling Voyage, we have a lot to do on this account. So I was going to sit here and just go ahead and make some progression in here, do some summons. So I wanted to record it all. Dark Lucifer, look like Darkblade is here as well. Brian is here. What is going on, guys? Again, thank you for joining me for the very short impromptu live stream that we want to do here. I wanted to hop on, do some summons. So a lot of heroes we've been trying to build, which I'm very short, and I know Javid, there's Javid. The free-to-play life is incredibly difficult, because even looking here, guys, I was going through and kind of taking accountability to the heroes we have, looking at having to build out Rem, having to build out Amelia, we know with furniture with them, looking at the Awakened version of Belinda, still needs some more progression in there, as well as some of these other heroes like Vathiel, that I don't even have enough mats to go ahead and enchant these items, which again, the signature items are kind of crazy, game changer in there, but we have a lot to do in here, guys, an incredible amount to do, which is the reason why I thought we'd just hop in. Did Javi, did you ever get the account sorted? What's going on, Yayo? Hippo Gang, where are you at? Once again, what's going on, Case? And Jay Bona, hello, happy to see you on, what is it, Thursday? Thursday, we did our garage sale today. I worked all day, had meetings for literally 6 hours. I think I was in meetings for 6 hours today. So this is kind of my my chill and relax time that I can talk to you. No, it doesn't. That is so weird, Javid. Did they block you out from the account? I don't know. I know you said before that I was specifically with everything that was going on in the country and with the government and all that stuff, that they were kind of blocking you out. I'm not sure if that was still the case. So we have 3 stones here. Boom, we got Nevi and we got Pharrell. Very nice. I'm hoping that we can get Javid back in pretty soon. If not, we're just going to have to move him somewhere for the ability to play AFK Arena. He's going to have to move somewhere to go ahead and be able to play AFK Arena. Let's build up some of these heroes, guys. I know we're starting to get a lot more on the free-to-play account. We're already in 38, so I mean, we've made some pretty decent progression campaign-wise, but I know, again, there are still a lot of heroes. How's Michigan? Michigan is doing well. It's been 80 plus every single day, so it's been pretty hot here, which is kind of crazy. And that's what I thought, Javid. I thought it was your country that they wouldn't let you. I know we tried VPN, a couple other things in the live stream, and unfortunately it didn't work very well. I don't even know what to do at this time, short of VPN and somewhere else, short of moving, short of honestly moving outside of the country and going somewhere else. So let's do some summons on here, guys, and see if we can get any heroes. I also want to try to continue building the Awakened version of Belinda. We do have quite a few more cards. And then, of course, we know the Awakened version of Sophia is going to be coming pretty soon. But look at this, guys. It is nothing but rare cards. No elites at all. I was building Vathiel out of here, which, again, we built him out a little bit. We have 43 cards here. Let's see, guys. We need 2 more copies to get her to Mythic Plus. And then, of course, 5 in total to get her up to that ascended level. So I'm hoping we can get at least 1. I mean, 1 would be ideal, maybe even 2. Would love to see a double, but this might just be a horrible time to summon. But we're getting emblems. Just like I said earlier, guys, we need emblems. We really didn't have a chance to get any of the emblems. So that's 40 cards down. Let's see if we can pull one of them in here. Nope. And last one is not a copy, just nothing but resources. Again, Vathiel will go ahead. We'll see if we can get maybe a copy of Vathiel. Maybe we'll get lucky with something here. Or maybe it's going to be absolutely nothing, guys. Nothing. Look at that shutout in the entirety. I know it's snowing. It's snowing in Canada. That is absolutely crazy. Yeah, exactly. Dark Lucifer. It's always snowing somewhere in Canada, I feel. If you go far enough, because Canada is a massive country, I feel like you go far enough, you're gonna find some snow in Canada somewhere up there. So the Oaken, let's continue with these summons, guys. I know we changed up the workshop last time. We have 3 cards on the table, but now we have Rem and Amelia. I know we didn't have Rem and Amelia last time. So I'm thinking let's go ahead and build out Rem. I know the awakened version of Belinda, we're going to build her eventually, but we have a lot of heroes to get there. We also have Joan to build. We have Anissa to build. There's so many heroes. I have Ascended Vithiel. Yeah, Javid, Vithiel is huge. When should I start stargazing during free-to-play? So, Angel, the general rule of thumb when it comes to free-to-play accounts is once you get to the point of being able to farm cards. So what I mean by that is when you get to the point, usually I believe it is 130 if I remember, but when you get to the point of being able to actually farm cards within here, farming the Stargazer cards, farming the regular cards, the time emblems, which I think it was isn't it 5th floor? There's red chests. But once you start going in here and once you start getting Stargazer scrolls out of here, that is really the time. When you go into all of your 4 towers, the 4 primary towers at first, before you get the Celestials and the Hypogean towers, once you start going into those towers and you start getting Stargazer scrolls out of there, that is really the time. I know, I go on a free-to-play account and that is right, we get nothing. We get absolutely nothing out of the free-to-play account. That is the Lilith Love, as they put it. So 32K here for our Poke Coins. I'm hoping we can get a couple. There's another one for Amelia. That gives us 2 of 9 for Amelia. 100. Yeah, there you go. So it starts at 125 every 10 floors. There you go, Angel. That is where you want to. So as long as you're 125 plus, and look at that, double cards there. As long as you're floor 125 plus, it is kind of the point that you want to start doing the Stargazer. If you start too early, and look at that, another double for Amelia. That is awesome. That is already 3 pieces of furniture for Amelia. I still want them to adjust the wish list that we have less heroes than 10 on that wish list. I think it would be awesome. And there is Rem, guys. It is Dimensional Love with the summons in here. That is a lot of cool luck. Wait, you're live? I thought this was a replay. I want Mo Rice. Nope, it is live. Yep, we hopped on here again. I was going to go through here. I was going to make some progression, spend a little bit of time here. I said, you know what? My kids are sleeping. My wife is sleeping. It's been a long, long day. So I'm like, I can do some live stream. It's going to be all quiet down here. And I know that it's going to be quiet for a little bit. That is right. So it is really cool. All right, guys. And again, I'm thinking Rem. I'm thinking building out Rem right now because, again, Rem is going to be a very, very strong carry. And we know once we build out Rem that we can actually swap it to a couple other heroes. So I'm going to put 4 more cards in there. That gives us the 3 of 9 in addition to a couple more cards. Now, again, with the summons, we did get, let's go ahead and recycle, but we did get quite a few of our emblems. I wanted to get some of those emblems out of there, which, again, makes a really big difference. This account, I've been really, really stressed and really slow building all of these heroes with the emblems specifically. There is Peanut, there is Sonia, and of course a little bit more food as we're looking to recycle. Tier 4 stones, I've just been kind of saving at this point. Same with engraving mats, we've been using them little by little, and I have the red chest to build out Rem and Amelia, and again, building out Vithiel, building out the awakened version of Belinda. We need a lot more. Now in the store, I've also been resetting this. So I've been buying out the emblems here, spending 100 diamonds just to reset. That way I get more engraving mats, also some more resources, as well as these. So that takes us to 40, guys, to see if we can build up that awakened version of Belinda a little bit higher, which she is close. She is at 18 already, so it's kind of crazy. When you start farming Stargazer cards in the tower, do you recommend diamonds to gaze as well, or keep normal summoning with diamonds? For a little bit of time, Blazer, you can. And the big reason is at that point of getting to the towers, I would probably use Stargazer cards at that point. And the real logic behind it is when you look at the Noble Tavern, there are still an incredible amount of heroes you need at that point. if you're hitting 125 with the Stargazer, if you're starting to get those Stargazer scrolls at 125 in the tower, there are probably a lot of meta heroes in here that you still need. That's kind of when the big thing. Next one will build the Awakened version of. Yep, that's what they're saying. Case is the Awakened version of is Sophia is coming next, guys. That is the rumor. Again, I want to wait till it is officially declared that Lilith says, hey, it is official. Sophia is coming. We know AFK Inside has said it. Discord and Reddit have said it. I'm assuming 100% that is exactly what it's going to be. But I like to wait, and I like to see the official release from Lilith that it is absolutely official, guys. That it is. But yeah, the Awakened version of Sophia. Again, a lot of players are saying she could come in as a support hero, which again would be kind of interesting to see the twist on there. But honestly, when they took Taylene from support to tank, they can pretty much do whatever. You never know. Sophia might come in as a warrior, which again would be just kind of silly. But we have seen a lot of kind of crazy things. I hate and love Rem. Yes, Rem dominates PvP, guys. If you have checked within the Treasure Scramble, if you checked within a lot of different game modes, Rem is just absolutely crushing PvP. And I was hoping to get a couple of these done. I don't know if I remember exactly how to get through these, guys. I have done these so many times. It's been kind of crazy. And I think this is where, did we get Queen and Joker? I want to say originally this is where you could get Queen and Joker with the Dimensional Travelers. Queen and Joker, of course, at this point of the game, they don't really make a difference at all on who you take. So going through here, and again, I think there's a specific way to go through this story mode, which I'm going to try. Do I recommend building Rem or Mulan first? Honestly, Trollmaster, I would build Rem. The big reason is when you look at campaign formations, a lot of players are even using Rem over Mulan. Me personally, I'm using Rem significantly, even going into chapter 50. Rem has been the driving force. In addition, Rem is still being used again in a couple other formations, including the Treasure Scramble. We're seeing her in the Treasure Scramble, the Nightmare Corridor, the Cursed Realm. Also seeing her in the Twisted Realm. The hero is literally showing up everywhere that a hero can kind of show up. Again, Mulan is kind of here and there, but we're not seeing it quite as many places as we're seeing Rem in formations. And I love her abilities, guys. She puts out so much damage. And that is really going back to kind of the Awakened version of Belinda, a couple of heroes of that nature, is because, and I think we might have went the wrong way. Because remember this, and I should have pulled up. I was going to pull up, but I think you can reset this if I remember right. That we can go and get, because I know this one takes out the camp. And again, I think maybe this was meant to be the first one. Might have messed it up. Might have messed it up from the very beginning. But let's see, guys. So that, oh, it's out of reach. That's right. We got to take out these camps. I might have. I'm not sure. Made it out of chapter 40, stuck at 41-8, the 15. Yeah, there's usually one. Kurak, when you get to that point, there is usually one. When you get to 5 teams, it is incredibly, incredibly hard. It is a lot. It is very, very hard. Again, some reason I'm not remembering this voyage because all of these are blocked. See, it lets me go through the little one here. Which I remember the first aspiration. Oh, this one grew. That's why, because I took out the second camp. That's what I thought, guys. I thought there was a specific way to do this. I'm going to try it again. Again, I haven't done. Should I build Mythic Mortis or Ascended Demia? Lemon flavored, that's kind of tough because you need both of them. You honestly need both of them. Now, Mythic Mortis only needs a plus 20 signature item is all that Mortis needs. Mortis doesn't need anything else. So it makes it very, very easy in that aspect because Mortis only needs to be Mythic and Mortis only needs the plus 20 signature item, where Demia has to be built out a lot more. You absolutely have to build out Demia very high or much higher to have the full effect of her, where again, Mortis doesn't need it. I love Mulan. I can counter so much stuff with her. Merlin doesn't even get his cast, his free alt. Yeah, I like Mulan, but again, if you look at Mulan's utility in relationship to if you look at Mulan's utility in relationship to Rem, if you don't have Rem, you're gonna be missing a lot of stuff. That's kind of the thing to remember, guys, is if you are missing Rem specifically, you're going to be missing a lot of the formation. So you might have to borrow one if that's the case. It might be a little bit more different. Yeah, I like Demia, and I think Demia, again, remember, who can you borrow? That's really one of the big things to always remember, guys, is who can you borrow in formation. So if you have the availability to borrow Demia, just like we see with the Awakened heroes, when you look at, Belinda, when you look at Baden, when you look at a lot of those heroes, if you have the ability to borrow them, it makes it incredibly easy because you can just borrow the hero. If you need a hero, you can borrow them. Go down the list and know exactly who you need to borrow, when you need to borrow them. And again, if you can borrow Demia, if you have to borrow Demia, you absolutely can if it is needed. Or if you don't have, some of the other heroes. Again, it's a big thing to remember who you can kind of borrow. There we go. So we found the first one. Now I think we take out this camp. I think it is this camp. Or no, it's the cannon. That's right. It is the cannon to take out the camp. And I'm trying to remember exactly what this one, and then it's this camp. That's what I'm thinking. What's going on, Jaffa? Thanks for joining us for the stream. Very last minute impromptu. I wanted to hop in here. I wanted to farm up some resources in here so we can actually build out some of these heroes in their entirety. Again, we've been kind of struggling with this. My REM is E30, SI20, and 2 pieces of furniture. Yeah, Q-Rack, that is good. Like I said, the hero is very tough. The hero is solid. When you look at the build of Rem, does incredibly well. She performs well. And a lot of times when we look at the collaborations, you have one hero that usually performs incredibly well and then one not so much. Here we're seeing Rem and Amelia, similar to Ainz and Albedo. Both of them are performing incredibly well, which again, it is really good to see that they have some utility and that we're seeing the viability with them. So looking here now, I think this is where we go middle. If I remember, this is the middle. And again, I pulled up my little cheat sheet over here just in case we need it by any means. A lot of the guides, a lot of the visual guides, things of that nature, we can go through and finish these out. But again, we want the rewards that are in here. So there we go. So we steal that. It resets a lot of this. And then we go to this side. I thought we could reset these battles, which we can. On my arena ladder, Rem doesn't get to do anything. Mulan already carves up enemies nicely. 120 tree. Yeah. When you get to a point, definitely with the tree, a huge impact with that. When you start building out the heroes, some of the, like Rem and Ulna, Rem and Ulna are broken. They're probably one of the absolute biggest broken heroes that we see. I love the combination of both of those two. Yeah, middle twice. That's what I thought, Brian. I thought it was. By the way, I'm trying some funky stuff in PvP at the moment. I sort of found a nice counter to Rem. Orin deletes the Rem in an instant. Yeah, so Orin works incredibly well with Rem, unless you have Rem really built. That's kind of the big thing. Depending where you run Rem in a formation makes a very big difference on kind of how well it's going to work. Now, this one, I think it is the lever. There we go. So a change right there. And again, I'm looking at my little cheat sheet. Then we'll come over to this one and we'll go through there. I don't get to watch the streams much because of the time difference between Australia and the US. Yeah, Jaffa, I know a lot of players have said that. That's why every now and then, just like tonight, I like doing some of the off-time streams or some of the last-minute streams, things of that nature, because I know there are a lot of players in different locations that don't have the ability to watch the live streams. And again, because of the timing issues, things of that nature. So that is 15. 16 is our cannon up here. They both help me in the King's Tower. There we go, destroying the barrel. Then back to our yellow. It's funny how many times I've done these, guys. I mean, I've done this. This is the 8th account. I believe this is the 8th account in total that we have done all of these Peaks of Time adventures. Most of these, I don't even bother pulling up a guide, nothing of that nature, because again, I've done them so many times. But I was drawing a blank on this one, on the Dreamscape. This was where Rowan was. Rowan was the bad guy. In around 6 months, my trees are approaching their cap. I can basically play lottery in the barracks because my tree won't grow anymore to require more juice. Yeah, I like it. Got stack juice, stack the juice. I'm thinking at some point, guys, that they are going to make an update to the Elder Tree, which again would be kind of interesting to see what they do with it. I really hope they redo or rework the Warrior Tree. The Warrior Tree, in my opinion, is probably one of the life leech in there, the undervalued tree. They could buff up or change some of the buffs within that Warrior Tree, and it would work incredibly well. I would love to see it. For a majority of players, for the longest time, the Warrior Tree was just neglected. It was neglected forever. But now with Anasta, with Entendre, with Rem, with all of the warriors we have, it is one of the biggest priority trees now because of the changes that we've seen. And again, the Rangers used to be huge, and it doesn't seem like they're as prevalent as they once were, which again is kind of interesting to see. There's all the dialogue with Rowan, and I believe this is our last chest here, guys. Boom, there we go. So we got 10 scrolls. Faction scrolls are another thing that we need to update. Not too happy with the faction scrolls because remember, they can still not pull Awakened Heroes. We cannot find any Awakened Heroes with the faction scrolls. And there we go, guys. We got an elite, and it is Salakai. Look at that. Dude, I'm so weak and stuck on levels. Please help in advice. So depending where you are, Laga, you might just be levels. Some of it might just be having to get more levels, making more progression level-wise might be part of it. Depending on if you're building meta heroes is another really big thing. Making sure that you're focusing on those bigger meta heroes that are going to really carry you. Honestly, they should give us Warrior Tree. Yeah, I think Tank Tree, Kraken Crunch. Funny you should say that. This is the tree, guys. Dura's Fortitude. They have accuracy and they have haste. They need to bake in some damage mitigation within this tree. It would literally revive the entire warrior class, because what we see currently in AFK Arena is if you're running warriors, for a majority of them, if they don't have the immunity or heavy damage mitigation, they just get crushed, which is pretty sad. With the mitigation, they can survive a little bit. With the immunity, they do work a little bit. But overall, they need some mitigation built into this tree. I think would just be game-changing. It would be honestly game-changing. And again, this is the old methodology with building the tree. Now with so many different warriors, this tree is so important, but it still has life leech, guys. As much as I do not like life leech. Would you build Demia before Halos? Honestly, both of them, you need both of them. Demia is in a lot of formations, but so is Halos. Demia, you could use, I mean, you could definitely build Demia first. Again, just because of the functionality and the utility. And that Lagatron 6000, thank you for subbing to the channel. Yeah, you could go kind of either way with, you could build Demia, you could build Halos. Both of them, again, have an incredible amount of utility, J-Guy. So you're not going to go really wrong with either of them. Yeah, the tree, damage reduction in the tree. Want to say hi. What's going on, Tempest? It's 4 a.m. Good night to Tempest. Don't stay up, guys. If it's 4 a.m., go to sleep. The moment where Frontline Mage lives longer than Grez at 300. Yeah, level deficiencies, guys. Again, when you start pushing through here, when you start getting into the level deficiencies, tanks just get melted. They literally do. There are a few exceptions, such as Mishka, such as Thorin, that doesn't die as fast. Still, when you start getting high level deficiencies, they do get kind of run over. But yeah, they definitely... Is it okay to stop leveling to lower the competition for the Twisted Realm? Honestly, at this point, not really. There was a point where all of the Twisted Realm, all of those subcategories were kind of broken. Were broken apart. At this point, no. Honestly, no. Warrior, yeah, that's it. Warriors just fall over. Lars, you're spot on there. It is so hard. Should I ascend my Scarlet first or Rowan? Scarlet. So the big thing with Rowan is Rowan only needs signature item. That is it, guys. So if you have Rowan even at Mythic, keep Rowan. The damage dealers such as Scarlet have to be built out. The Scarlet has to be built out as high as possible. Not such a huge priority right now just because we've had some other damage dealers. But if you're not running all of the Awakened Heroes, Scarlet is still a major priority when it comes to the build. Scarlet, of course, still used in a lot of different formations. And Scarlet still takes the place of a lot of the Awakened Heroes if you don't have them built. Now here we have Belinda. I have Brutus, which is built. I have Solus, which is built. I have Baden, which is built. Belinda is the fourth one as a free-to-play account that we are looking to build, is the Awakened version of Belinda. Again, we need a couple more copies and we'll be able to build her up a little bit higher. But this will be our fourth Awakened hero as a free-to-play account, which is awesome. Where are you, bro? Which country? I'm in the United States. I don't know if that question is directed at me or if it was directed towards Javid, but I am in the United States, guys. I am in the state that looks like a mitten, Michigan. That is where we're at. So in here, again, the grind within these floors, guys, this is where I grind every day. Literally every day that we're playing AFK Arena. It is kind of crazy. Even looking at formations in here, and I wish they would change this. So formations need to be, let's say, ascended heroes. So even looking here, guys, Wukong is running here, but it uses heroes that I literally don't have, like right here. I have one elite version of Athalia. This is my recommended formation. Even if I had these built, wouldn't make a difference, guys, because of where I have them built, which is the reason I wish it would only give you formations, or in this manner, if I could filter out formations to see what would work. Even there's the trial version of Demia working incredibly well. There's the Awakened version of Athalia. And again, you got to go through here and find a formation that works that you have. But looking at the level deficiencies, most of these I don't. So most of these I'm going to be kind of stuck with the heroes that I have, essentially, in trying to get this to work, because it will not recommend the formations that I need. Okay, bro, I'm from Montreal. You can come here. Very, very nice. So there we go. We can go to Montreal. I'm about 45 minutes south of Canada. So we're just outside of Windsor on the Michigan side. I'm just north of Detroit, but I'm about 45 minutes. If I actually went down, if I went down 94, it'll drop me right in Detroit. Detroit, of course, we can hop right over to Canada. Just as easy as that. Flora plus Taylene plus the CL. Yeah, the Beast Way. That is right, Lars. That is awesome. Kazi, I also live in Michigan. Where do you live in Michigan? Let me know if you want to put it in there. I'm new and I got Mishka. Should I invest her? Yes, Mishka is still really big. Again, Mishka is a hero with a good investment. Mishka will do very well. Let me drop our seal in here, because I believe I already have Beast Resonance 6. Look, 9, 9, 8, 7. We are getting our Beast Resonance in here, guys. I'm continuing to build it out. You know what? I'm going to drop out the twins. Let's put in Flora. See if we can get the Beast going. Yeah, Rowan still works incredibly well. Again, it's a different game in AFK Arena. If you have the ability to invest in all of the different heroes, things of that nature, it is going to be an entirely different game. But if you're still running some of the older, essentially the older heroes that we have within the game. So if you don't have, again, all the Awakened heroes, if you don't have a lot of the heroes essentially that we build up once upon a time, there are a lot of heroes that do still work incredibly well within formations that are going to be the best in slot for a lot of players. That's kind of one of the big things. I'll be in Canada 10 years from now. That's it. Javid is out. He is leaving. I put Wukong in the Resonating Crystal for the Celestial Tower, and he does less damage than the twins. Yeah, Wukong, unfortunately, they've given us so many copies of Wukong. It's been absolutely kind of silly. But Wukong, unfortunately, doesn't do damage. has a little bit of survivability, but overall Wukong is just absolutely horrible. Normal Athalia is so strong. Yes, Normal Athalia, guys, was the first celestial hero I believe we ever got into AFK Arena. Still worked incredibly well. It was kind of crazy to see exactly how strong Athalia is, and Athalia still to this day has a ton of utility. I don't know if we're going to be able to get through here. And again, looking at my level grind when we got to 2 teams, guys, this is why I've been grinding a lot through here and trying to find formations that work. Even here with Salakai, not going to work. We have Kren in this formation, which I'm assuming I'm going to have to use pretty much here. So let's throw Kren in here. And there are so many heroes in here, guys, that I just need to build. It's sad. It's sad to see how many I still have to. I was watching the newbie guide and really helping. Oh, well, thank you, Laga. Yeah, the newbie guides, the new player guides, make a big difference, guys. It's a big perspective change in AFK Arena when you're playing a brand new account. And it is even a big perspective change when you're playing free-to-play accounts. In my opinion, guys, it is almost an entirely different game because of everything that you have going on in here. It is really a lot of different content as a free-to-play player within AFK Arena. I really appreciate and understand how difficult it is for a lot of players that are free-to-play. It's kind of crazy. I live in, oh, you live in Sterling Heights? Yep, I'm just north of you. So I'm on north of Hall Road is where we're at. So we're pretty close to each other. They need to remove the TK from Scarlet's kit. It gets super annoying when you're doing Temple Rift or Guild Hunt. Yeah, I know a lot of them so many times with the exact same formations. And I'm hoping that Entendre can get this done in here with Honesta. And again, very limited to the heroes we have in here, guys. It is pretty limited. The RNG is going to have to work, which it might only work once or twice before we can get this done. I have 4 accounts with the Awakened Heroes, and Matria account is the strongest. Yeah, Matria does incredibly well. Absolutely, Sasha. Does require the investment. With some of the other hypo heroes in there, Matria will do incredibly well, especially because she comes back alive when people die. There's not many heroes that can do that. Actually having the ability to revive. Again, I think we're going to be kind of stuck here with the progression. I'm going to have to continue to level up all of these heroes, and I wonder if we're close. Just a couple more. We'll take her to 20, and then I'll be able to take her to 30, which is awesome. But we still need the same. We need it for Rem. We need it for Amelia. Let's see what else we have in the peaks. Thrilling Voyage, I was already going through. Lighted Lands. So we got some more scrolls, which again, we got some stones here, which are good. Some engraving mats, and then, so nothing in there. But we'll go in here. That way I can kind of just chat with you guys. Would you recommend resetting the shop to buy Wukong copies to build him out for the Celestial Tower? No. Unfortunately, with Wukong, guys, I wouldn't even invest in Wukong at this point, just for the simple fact that it's not really there. The value of Wukong is not really there at all, guys. Not even as a free hero do I use him. The only reason I use him in this formation is because I don't have anyone else. So I'm literally stuck without anyone else. But looking at everything that you can get within the tower, I would not by any means invest in Wukong. It is not worth it at all at this point of the game. When you look at, you have Joan in there, you have Baba Yaga in there, you have Arthur in there, you have the red chest. If you're already at 30, you have your engraving mats, you have all of that stuff. Yeah, you really need you really need to have those resources versus having really anything else. Broby like free to play. Yeah, free to play has Awakened Heroes. I believe Javid is almost at 5. Ismail is almost at 5 Awakened Heroes. You're going to get to a point where you have Awakened Heroes. If you're newer to AFK Arena, there's going to be a point, and even with the heroes I have, if I can borrow other Awakened Heroes, I can have 5 and still have that mythic Belinda in there. So, I mean, I can have 5 awakened heroes at that point, which again, it is kind of crazy to think that you have, you know, that many awakened heroes, but you absolutely can. And it works very well with borrowing heroes. I'm probably one of the biggest proponent or one of the biggest players that love borrowing heroes. I absolutely do it. Thank you for all the insight, by the way. Oh, you're welcome, Sasha. I love doing the live streams. It's very cool to talk to you guys. You can have some of my, yeah, 640 amplifying. If you've seen Shadow, I have like 4,000 or 5,000 on my faction accounts. I would love if I could swap those. Also, I know a lot of players were talking over on Reddit that they would love to see, account swaps, or not account swaps, diamond swaps. That you could swap diamonds between different players, which again, I think would be kind of crazy to see, but it would be funny to see if you could swap diamonds. I think that would be pretty super broken, but yeah, they were talking about doing diamond swaps. This is the best game for free to play. Yeah, Q-Rack, I agree with you 100%. You can definitely, free to play, you can make a lot of progression in here. Do you think it's possible to get to chapter 18 with the starter characters? Yes, absolutely, Sasha. If you look at some of the older accounts, my power creep account, I haven't played in a while, but my power level account, we went through 23, 25 chapters in the course of just, I think like 2 weeks, probably a little over 2 weeks, with just the basic heroes. And it was a while ago. We didn't have a lot of the awakened heroes in there. Made solid progression. It really did make very, very solid progression going through there with just new heroes. It was just whatever we pulled to make progression. When I got to the point, I believe I had a Thalia on that account. The trial version of a Thalia just crushed it. Just absolutely crushed it. When will time emblems come to the store? I'm in chapter 18. So the time emblems, Harris, come when you have the dimensional hero. So the time emblems replace the dimensional hero in the store. So when you're looking at the Labyrinth store, and I'm just thinking the Labyrinth store, when you buy the dimensional, so if you buy Joe and Baba Yaga or Arthur, they are replaced by the dimensional heroes. If you buy them in the Challenger store, they're replaced with red chest. So it does change it a little bit. Finally got to chapter 39 using Thorn Cheese. Yeah, that is, I pulled the trigger. The Thorn Cheese is still the Thorn Cheese, guys. It will always be the Thorn Cheese. Some players love it. Some absolutely hate it 100%, but it works. Guys, again, as much as you don't like it, the Thorn Cheese works, and it works incredibly, incredibly well. I got 4 Awakened Heroes, Solus, Thane, Brutus, and Baden as free to play. Yeah, and that's it, Q-Rack. It just takes time, guys. If you're consistently playing AFK Arena, if you're consistently farming the towers, making progression, things of that nature, you're going to build the heroes. It's really, there's going to be a point where you're building these heroes, and you're going to get more copies, you're going to get more resources. It just takes time. Time is really all. Even if you're looking at a player where, if you're looking at pay to win, if you're putting money in AFK Arena, the only thing that is really going to do is cut down on the time. And that's kind of what we've stressed before, is when you're putting money into the game, cutting down on the time is going to be the purchases, or it's just going to take time. If they let us trade diamonds, everyone, yeah, I know, that's what I thought, but they could make it that it doesn't go account to account. Someone mentioned the Thorn Cheese. Yeah, Dark Lucifer's favorite. He loves the Thorn Cheese. Don't let him lead you astray. What did you use on the account for most of the chapters? Damon, yes. Gengar. Damon is a carry. Damon will carry you 30 chapters if you get some support behind him. Even if you get a couple heroes like Rowan works incredibly well. Palmer works incredibly well. If you stack some heroes behind Rowan, Rowan will carry, and Rowan will carry a lot. Literally will carry through a lot of AFK Arena. So I think I needed to switch this one back. And then one fire here, I believe, moves our elemental, blocked away. And again, I like going through these because I can kind of pause and stop whatever I need to. That way I can kind of talk to you guys. But yeah, Damon is super, super impressive. If you want to talk about an overall carry in AFK Arena, guys, Damon is the one, hands down, the easiest carry in AFK Arena. If you get early awakened heroes, they'll carry a little bit, but they're not going to carry, and they're not going to fully carry like what we see with Damon. There'll be a point essentially that they kind of phase out a little bit, which again, you're not going to find a lot of the utility in there as much with the awakened heroes, because they will fade out a little bit. Get Demia to 4 stars, not even fully built, and she added so much value. Yeah, absolutely. As Hawk, Demia is a game changer because of that 50% buff that she's bringing to teams. There is not a team where, if you're running one team, even multiple teams, multiple game modes, even used within the treasure scramble, Demia is huge. Demia does work incredibly well for a hero. I'm pretty sure no one loves the Thorn Cheese. That is what Javid is. There's something wrong with the Thorn Cheese lovers. That is right, Javid. Some people definitely love the Thorn Cheese. You don't have to make it so you can only create diamonds that you bought with real money. Yeah, exactly. That would be kind of crazy. Mr. Hippo, don't tell my secret love of Thorin. That's right. I know Dark Lucifer has expressed his love for Thorin before. That's why I had to bring it up. I know, guys. I know. Some of us really do love Thorin and the Thorin Cheese and the 1000 retaliation abilities that are kind of crazy. I love the Thorn Cheese, more reliable than... Yeah, and that's exactly what Javid has said. Shadow is way more reliable than the Charizard. But again, Charizard works. It is another formation that does work incredibly well. And again, we've seen it. We have seen it in action. We've seen all of them in action. And it works. Again, it works incredibly well. I think up here, we're coming up to almost done with this one, guys. And again, these are kind of fun to run through. So we trapped the Ice Elemental right there just to kind of do them again. And I know I still have to go through and have the rest of my artifacts. I don't have all of my class-specific artifacts at this point, which is kind of sad to say. So we got 8 right there. Where are the last chests in this one? Trying to think, there's 1. Boom, there's 5. Again, with the faction scrolls that I dislike at all whatsoever. There was 1 with where he was. Now, where is the last chest in here? I thought for some reason it was at the beginning. Near the beginning. There it is. Who do I need in there? It's Inoki. It's Inoki that goes in here. What's the build for Damon? If you're running Damon as a main carry, guys, the 203 works incredibly well with Damon. Some players take him to the plus 30 signature item, even the 9 of 9 furniture. Personally, I wouldn't engrave him. That's a lot of my personal preference. I would not engrave Damon at all on an account, just because you do get to a point where not a lot of utility in there. Where's Inoki? There's Inoki. Boom, we'll put Inoki in there. Yeah, if you want your phone or PC destroyed, just love the Thorn Cheese. That is right. Yeah, Damon with the 203 will work incredibly well. Again, Anthony, if you take him to the 303 or even the 309, will work well. And there we go, guys. I was going to say, I thought this last chest was right at the beginning, which it was. There we go, 2 and 8. Brings us to the Fractured Gallery, which, if you guys remember, and again, kind of dating my AFK days, the Fractured Gallery was the one that was super, super broken. They had a boss fight in there that literally crushed everybody. So they had to hotfix it. They hotfixed the Fractured Gallery when we're going through there. I took 50 plus tries. Well, when you go through Tales, this is really the telltale. When you go through here and you see right here, 5723 after 366 attempts, there's probably a Thorn Cheese somewhere in there. But we'll see some that are hundreds right there. Look at this. Terrorist finally passed 5745 after 2,481 attempts. That is right, pulled the trigger. You want to talk about 50 plus attempts to get it to work? There is 2,481 attempts which again is just kind of insane that they went through there and did that many, almost 2,500 attempts right there. I would love to see the Awakened Mezoth. Yeah, Awakened Mezoth would be kind of crazy. Damia and a Merlin Albedo Rem has boosted a bit. Yep, Damia, again, works incredibly well. Peaks of Time are so hard for me, and Candy Crush is frustrating. Peaks of Time, you have to run Harris. They are probably one of the biggest resource producers that we see in AFK Arena. Going through the Peaks of Time, it is just a plethora of loot that you get out of there. Yeah, there's 20, yeah, almost 2,500 retries, which again is kind of crazy. Everyone loves when it works and hates when it takes 100 tries. Would a 3-month-old player be able to clear 300 of the Temple Rift? Possibly. That is a big possibly. As a light spender, you probably could do it. There are a lot of players free to play that I know have cleared 300. But as a 3-month-old account, I don't think that would be probably a really big stretch to clear 300 of the Temple Rift as a light spender. I'd be really interested to see if you can get through there. That would be kind of crazy to see, again, without having any of the Awakened heroes. When you start getting into multiple teams, you're not going to have a chance. Temple Rift, I haven't been pushing this at all, but big thing is, of course, right here, guys, leveling up the beacon, or the trait enhancer is the big one, but I think I'm on like 162. When you start getting into multiple times, this is where I think you're going to get stuck when it comes to the Temple Rift. To clear 300 floors, I believe there's what, 6 teams. I don't think you're going to be able to get through. I really don't think you're going to be able to get through with that. You could go, yeah, a couple different ways, but again, depending on I don't even know if you're going to have the heroes to clear, to even fill 25 slots with actual viable heroes at that point. Lucy Cheese, Charm, Thorin, all three are nerve-wracking. Yeah, absolutely. I think I roll these for hours. I read the fights, give up when it doesn't work after 30 minutes. I just let it run. That is really what I do here, guys. For a lot of these, I got to the 4 teams. I use, again, a couple heroes in here. Gonna have to build them out a little bit more, but I just let this run. 162. I know I could make a lot more progression because it's been a while, but overall, free to play. I have to put the time in there, and that's why I wanted to hop on here. Isle of Gold I have set. I'm going through here. The Bountiful Trials I could definitely do. Now the Misty Valley, I thought I had done. I try to keep up on the Misty Valley. I try to keep up on everything. There we go. So we did. I did do all the Misty Valley. We got Tamarisk in there, which is good. I thought I had completed the Misty Valley, which we did. I wonder if I got all the chests, which we did. There we go. I was going to say, I thought we did the Misty Valley. Then, of course, we're just waiting for the new voyage, which I believe is going to be up tomorrow night, is going to be the new voyage. So definitely making some more progression in there. Lucretia is either you get or you don't. Yeah, Lucretia's pretty easy. Working on Belinda, yes. Absolutely, guys. Belinda is still super important. Absolutely one of the biggest heroes. There's a copy of Sylvana. 20 and 60. It's funny, I have so many red chests in here, but I do not have any amplifying or primordial just because we've been burning through so many of those. And I know the Rift, I go through here with the Labyrinth. We get our bonuses right now, which is awesome. Team detail, you can see my Mauler team, my free-to-play, and my FHG account. I run these by myself, guys. I run this between the YouTube account, the FHG account, the Lightbearer account. I run the Dismal Maze 3 times every other day, which again, I know is kind of insane what a lot of people will think. But yeah, we go through there and we run an absolute lot of content. 10 common scrolls, which I like. Then we got some resources. There we go. We got some emblems in this one. Let's go ahead. Can you explain WTF to do on the floor 150? It says Rigby, I don't do any damage. Rigby, you have to have someone who negates healing. So that is the only way to get through Rigby is you have to have a hero that negates his healing, or Rigby will stay alive forever. That is really really the problem. You're not going to be able to kill Rigby if you can't negate his healing, which I believe the Trana I know negates healing. Who else? What are the heroes that negate healing? I'm drawing a blank just off the top of my head, but I know there's a couple in there that can negate the healing ability, and I believe there are some support heroes that do the same. That can negate some of the healing. I'm gonna look up our fractured gallery. See you later, Javid. Have a good night. I just killed Rigby with Scarlet. Yeah, if you can do enough damage, like what Kazi said right there, if you can do enough damage, you can get through. You can get through if you have Scarlet to blast through Rigby. But again, if you have someone to negate the healing, that's the big thing in there. I forget who I used in here. It might have just been Scarlet in here. But you have to negate the healing. I got Scarlet fully built, 0 damage. Torn. There you go. Torn negates healing. I was gonna say, I know there's a couple heroes that do negate healing. So essentially Rigby will just die because Rigby doesn't have the healing ability. That's really the big thing that you have to do in here. And I believe this one you have to do more than once. If I remember the Fractured Gallery, again, this is one that everybody just absolutely hated because it was kind of asinine with how you had to do this. Honesta worked for me. There you go, Honesta as well. I just started playing the game a few days and I've been stuck on 1028 forever since the first day. And I'm going to tell who I can use to kill her. SHC, who do you have? There you go. Yeah, I believe Tresnar does the same. The E30? It might be the E60, but I think Tresnar also negates the healing as well. SHC, who are you using? Who are you stuck with? To kill her, I'm not sure if you're, because I don't think you're at the Rift at that point. I think it might just be the campaign on 1028. Yeah, like I said, Lars, there's a couple that do mitigate, that do mitigate some of the healing that Rigby does. I know he's a pain in the butt. So is Brutus. Brutus, you have to negate his shield, or you find the same thing. It doesn't work. I would try Honesta. I think Honesta does go through that. She has the debuff. That's what I'm thinking. Torn as well. Can't they just remove the rewind restriction in Rift when the season ends soon? That would be cool. I think that would be really actually pretty awesome. Shadow, if they went in there, let's say if there were 2 weeks left, if they removed that rewind function, I would be all for it. That would be really cool if they did that. So in an attempt to get players up to that 300, yeah, I would love to see it. That would be a really cool bonus perk to kind of do that in there. So we go some more stones, and then this one, we go left. Yeah, 10-20. Again, let me know what heroes, SHC, that you're running. Because I know at that level, it's really random who you have the ability to summon and who you can really use in there. Or you can hit it up on Discord. Discord is also, guys, a really, really good place because there you can share pictures and formations, which again, make it a lot easier. So from here we go right, burning through these islands, which I like. Yeah, Belinda's another hero, guys. Rem and Amelia, definitely a solid carry. Belinda is still the #1. I'm just wondering if Sophia is going to be able to replace the awakened version of Belinda. I know a lot of players are saying no, that's not going to happen. That there's not going to be a possibility that we're going to have Belinda essentially be replaced, but it's going to happen eventually. It is definitely going to happen eventually that Belinda is going to be replaced at some point. Again, we'll have to see. We'll have to see exactly what it looks like. I can tell you which fights to pick. I often suggest wrong. And if you don't even have... Yeah, that's the thing, Shadow, with the awakened version of Belinda. Again, couple of just a couple of heroes. It's going to be interesting to see where Sophia falls. I'm not super happy. I mean, not super upset that it's Sophia, just because, again, she's a hero. If you've played AFK for a while, the 5 pull was Sophia. Sophia and Skarath were the big 5 pull. Of course, when they released Furniture was the big one, which I think we're almost done with this one. Next time, there we go. Or she will have units to be replaced. So they, yeah. And that's what I wonder, Genjer, is how long is the awakened version of Belinda going to carry to the point of being dethroned, I guess, with the damage that she's putting up in formations. And now Rem, guys, Rem is so strong. It's kind of crazy to see how strong it is. And then continue, that's it. We can only do half of this. We got to finish. Really hoping for Awakened Chimera. Same, Lars. I am still 110% on board with Chimera. If they don't do the Awakened version of Chimera, I will be upset. There is not even, if they do Isabella, if they do a couple other Greyborn heroes, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same as them skipping out on the Awakened version of Chimera. And again, what are they going to do now if they make Sophia a mage and then they do Chimera and they just make Chimera a mage and we have Belinda as a mage? I mean, at what point is, the damage dealers just going to be overlapping versus having more support? Temporal Rift is bugged. Yes, absolutely, Shadow. Temporal Rift is bugged. I still feel like there's a lot of bugs and a lot of things that they really need to rework. I feel like there is a considerable amount that still does need to be fixed. That still needs to be reworked a little bit. Honestly, would like to see Awakened Sevilla to not be overpowered. So, yeah, and that's what a lot of people have said as well. Is similar to what's going on, Nick? Came to give you a thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the for the thumbs up. That is really, really cool. Like I was saying, the Awakened version of Sophia, I don't know if it's going to come out like we're seeing right now with the new Wilder, where a lot of players are super happy that the new Wilder is not showing a lot of abilities or really effects right now because it's a hero you don't have to build, guys. With the 2-week release regimen going so fast, it seems like it seems like they need to slow down. Or even if they paused, guys, if they paused for literally 2 weeks, it would be a game changer in AFK Arena with a pause. With even if it was a week pause, it would make a big difference. But even on this account, as much as we do get cards every day from the shop, every other avenue, even from the Treasure Scramble, things of that nature, even buying the deluxe monthly card, I don't even have 300 cards yet. I'm not even at the point of having the ability to build the Awakened version of Sophia, short of, again, putting more money into AFK Arena and buying more cards. That would really be the only way that I could do it, is if I went in there and purchased more emblems. Now, of course, with the Awakened version of Sophia, we're going to get probably 30, 40 just from the hero. We'll get 50 from her actual release. So we're going to see probably at least 100 cards is probably about average. So we'll see about 100 cards just dropped from her release. So that's pretty good in that point. Again, seeing about 100 cards in there. I don't even know the release schedule. That makes me angry. It's the fact that I've tried 52,000 teams and wasted hours to come up with a team that works. Yeah, a lot of the teams and a lot of the older heroes. One thing that I like, Shadow, is we're starting to see some synergy with some of the older heroes, which, like with Rain coming back with the Awakened version of Belinda, it was kind of shocking. And it's not all 110% just the meta heroes, which I love. I love that it is not literally just so many of the meta heroes or the new heroes that are literally building all of their own formations. it's weaving in a lot of the earlier heroes. Any idea why my Thorin Cheese ain't working in chapter 39? He's 909 plus 30. I'm putting the right heroes with him. Yeah, do you have the call or the eye at 5 stars? Yes. Sometimes it's just the formation, or sometimes, Sean, it's what you have equipped on him. What gear are you running on Thorin? Can make a difference. The Thorin Cheese, guys, is probably the ultimate fickle formation when it comes to the builds. The Thorin Cheese is one of the most probably pain in the butt formations. Yeah, depending, again, the gear you're running on Thorin can make a big difference. Even depending on the relics you're running on other heroes. If you copied the formation, which I'm assuming you did from a victory formation, a lot of it is just RNG. I went through 49, 60 yesterday. Thorin Cheese took me about 300 attempts before we ever got it to click. Once it clicked, absolutely no problem. We got through the stage. It just took that long. We still need 10 more in here, guys. Now, of course, Vithiel, I've been building up as well. Boom, got Vithiel up to a plus 10 signature item. Look at the big upgrade. Boots and weapon, T3. So go through, Sean. One thing I recommend is when you go through, some of it might also deal, depending if you're running Kelthar on there, if you're running Lorzen on there. When you look at the formations, specifically the Thorin Cheese, look at what other heroes are using as well, which again is one of the big things when you're looking at the Thorin Cheese. So here, again, we have the Zealots, which is huge because of the accuracy that you're adding in there. Tier 1 helmet, which again works incredibly well because you want to stack on the crit. The weapons and the boots don't really make that big of a difference, but overall, it does make a difference what you have on the other heroes. Because what can actually happen, Sean, is if, like, for instance, here, it works really well because he doesn't have any of the heroes built. If you go in there and you have, for instance, my Kelthar is fully built. My Kelthar has furniture, signature item. My Kelthar is fully built. A lot of times what I have to do is remove all the gear off Kelthar, or even remove some of the furniture off Kelthar, just for the simple fact that Kelthar cannot live longer than Thorin. So again, there's a lot of RNG when it comes to the Thorin Cheese. In here, running them all at Elite Plus does incredibly well. Kelthar will still do a lot of damage in this formation as well. But again, you want Thorin to be the main damage dealer. And of course, it does also make a difference on the pet. Depending on the formation, depending on the pet they're running, the level of the pet can make a big difference. And then also the tree, where if your tree is much higher rate, here's a level 37 tank. Let's say this was 107, just as a point of reference. Thorin is going to have an incredible amount of haste and not so much as everything else. Again, the Thorin Cheese is such an absolute fickle formation that's hard to go through and see exactly when it works. I'm hoping to get around to make a Rift video. Yes, the Rift video, it is on my list. I had the Rift video and I had the pet video. I did the pet video actually earlier today, so we just have the Rift video left. I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna check out Discord. I'm gonna look and go through Reddit. I want to pull a bunch of different team comps together. That way I can give players a bunch of options. I will show the Rift comps that I'm using on the free-to-play account, the Rift comps that I'm using on the pay-to-win account, which again is pretty easy because it is all those Awakened heroes. But I want to try to pull some of the guides from a couple different places. That way we have all of the Rift teams kind of together, which is really, really good. The more, I guess, options that you guys have, makes a big difference. Now we got 10 more scrolls in here. We'll go ahead, we'll do one. It should be our lead summon, which it is, guys. A copy of Treznar. I'll take another copy of Treznar. We'll go, you know what? I'm gonna go Greyborn in here since we got Treznar. And it is a copy of Thorin. Just like that, guys, we get another copy of Treznar, adding his 3rd star, which again, we need the mats. We need the mats for signature items. Absolutely, I've been using them. I hope Sophia is bad because I want to build the Awakened Athalia. Yes, the Awakened version of Athalia, guys, works incredibly well. She is one hero, especially because of this SP effect that we're seeing her used in a lot of different comps. Impressed with her. I like how the Awakened version of Athalia is. If you haven't started building Awakened version of Athalia or any of them at this point, guys, wait for Sophia. It is really, really one of the big things that I can recommend right now is wait to see where Sophia is. Give it about a week after Sophia is released, so you know if or when she is going to have utility and where we need to put her. Just got the last copies of Demia back to back. Very nice. So there you go. I gave away my streaming luck to Azhawk. Running Irons with Awakened Brutus in 41. Yeah, still works. Irons, guys, is still super powerful. His domination, as much as he's been replaced in a lot of different formations, even if you don't have the Awakened version of Belinda, if there's a lot of heroes you don't have built, guys, Irons is still super strong. He is a hero. Of course, Irons in the combination with Albedo still work incredibly well within formations. Again, some of the heroes like Rem, we're seeing a little bit more of the replacement in comps. But again, if you have the selection of every single hero to run, it's an entirely different aspect than having select heroes on a free-to-play account that you don't have the ability to have literally everyone to pick and choose from when you're building formations. You have to be a lot more cognizant about the heroes you're building and kind of how you're building them out. Getting gear, the resource acquisition within this game is huge. It is absolutely huge. The way that you build out these heroes. Any leaks about Sophia? Not yet, Alfred us. I am waiting every day to see if we can get there. If you're free to play on a new account and pull an Awakened hero, can that determine which one you ascend first? No, absolutely not. The Awakened version of Solus is good. Right now, the Awakened version of Belinda is the broken one. So she works better and has more utility than any other hero right now in AFK Arena, which again, works incredibly well. Now, where you're at, Gengar, it will work incredibly well. Having one copy of Solus in Chapter 16, you're going to make a ton of progression with Solus, just for the simple fact when you level Solus up, you are going to get the SP effect, which again, is going to make a difference, especially early game. This is going to make a difference because of her, not only the healing ability that she has, but Solus, getting a copy of Solus early will work incredibly well. Just for the simple fact that you have a Awakened hero and you have that SP effect, which is really cool. If you're on a free-to-play account and a pulled Awakened, yeah. Demia is not for campaign. I got confirmation from you guys on campaign plus 50. So Demia is, and it's kind of hard because there will be a point, Sean, where Demia is going to be used within the campaign. It's just finding the place. That is really one of the big things. So when you're going through campaign formations, there is going to be a place for Demia. Because of course, a lot of the formations that we're already running are pretty well set. We have heroes within formation, which again are very well set. And I don't like, again, I have one legendary copy of the Awakened version and they put them in formations. I don't know why, or I wish we had an ability to filter out heroes essentially that we don't have built or don't have built up high. I would love to see, again, some variation that you could filter the formations tab, which that's feedback that I've given to Lilith quite a few times, is having that ability. Now everyone here is stacked on Thorin. Retaliation 1, Retaliation 2. Thorin Cheese gets it done with Kalthar, of course, being dead, making it work incredibly well. One copy of Brutus is not, yeah, and that's it, Lars, is because not only did you get that one copy of the Awakened version of Brutus, is you also picked up Brutus's SP effect. That is one of the big things. Again, going through AFK Arena, guys, fundamentally, even the first, 40 plus chapters never changed. If you're early game, remember when AFK Arena came out, we didn't have signature items, we didn't have furniture, we didn't have engraving. We didn't have all the tier stones that we have right now. There was so much missing from AFK Arena. So when you're making progression with one copy of Brutus, it's because when that content was created, awakened versions of heroes didn't exist. Signature items didn't exist, guys. There are so many different ways to build up your heroes now that you can make the heroes so incredibly strong that, again, essentially we never had before, which again is kind of crazy to think about from the AFK aspect. But literally, it is the heroes that we never had before, buffed up to the point, again, of us never having them before. We never had signature items up to a certain point, which why once upon a time hitting chapter 18 was endgame. When you made progression again, there were so many different places and so many different benchmarks. When you started getting into multiple formations with this game, it was impossible. It was almost near impossible when you got to multiple formations. Now you can build Damon, now you can build Lucretia, and she literally just runs through the game. I know my level deficiency isn't anywhere close to, I haven't done campaign in this account in a long time. As you can tell, literally from the level deficiency here, I could probably run anything. Yeah, signature items didn't exist. That is right. So when you went in there, Sean, you would click on where signature items currently are on your hero avatar, and it would say coming soon. So if you look and you go back to my channel and look at the very first videos, I started making AFK videos, I believe when Lucius was released. So again, way back once upon a time when Lucius came out, that is the point where I started making AFK videos. I still remember making some of the old school, normal, regular Labyrinth videos, which even back then, going through the Labyrinth was very, very hard. It took an incredible amount of time and dedicated heroes to go through the Labyrinth, because even then, guys, for our Celestials and Hypogeans, we had Athalia and we had Aziz, and that was it, guys. But even back then, Athalia was the only hero that was used ever, and Athalia rocked and owned PvP in every aspect back then. But again, even then, Aziz was not used for literally anything in AFK Arena. Aziz had no place at all, which now, again, you fast forward a couple years, and now Aziz is used in formations within the Cursed Realm, used in a bunch of different formations, and works incredibly well. Even here, guys, once upon a time, we didn't have dimensional heroes. We didn't have any of these. We didn't have Ainz. We didn't have Albedo. These were heroes that never existed. So now I'm thinking at this point, even if we pop in some of the awakened heroes like Brutus, I don't see us having any problem at all. Again, just overpowering stages. Yeah, exactly. It was a long time ago. I mean, 4+ years, guys. We've been playing this since the beginning. I think Vulcan and I started just about the same time, but it was kind of crazy what you could do. You know, back even like when Saurus was released, guys, Saurus ran everything. You want to talk about a boss killer that made a difference, a huge, massive impact in AFK Arena. That was in his entirety was Saurus. When Saurus came out, literally destroyed everything. Saurus was doing 10x the damage that heroes were doing at the time. Saurus was one, as soon as you built out Saurus, you threw that signature item on him, just killed everything. We had regular Dura's artifacts. There were no class-specific artifacts, no engraving, no furniture, none of that, which again is kind of crazy to think, but that's where we were. I remember being happy first ascending my Belinda. Yeah, there you go. So Belinda. My first Kazi was, of course, Rain. Rain was the first hero in AFK Arena that I ever ascended. Rain was also the first hero that I got to 5 stars. It was regular Rain, which again is still being used. RIP, Brutus, Thane, Baden, the heroes I'll never have, unless they make them easier. And we also talked about that, Shadow, is I think there's a point where now when you have like Brutus, you have Thane, some of the older heroes, some of the older awakened heroes, because again, as we progress in AFK Arena, as their utility is going to go down over time, I feel like they should help, or they should allow you to get some of the earlier or the older awakened heroes much easier. So what I would love to see is if you went in here, let's say you went in the Noble Tavern in the wish list, if down here on the bottom they had an awakened hero, which you could choose any of the older awakened heroes, and it wasn't inclusive, like it didn't ruin your chances or lower your chances of the other awakened heroes. But if you could choose an older awakened hero, that's your, a much higher probability in the wish list to pull some of the older heroes, just so players could even play catch up. And this awakened hero would only come from normal stuff. I would love to see that be the case, where it would only go or only come from normal summons or from faction scrolls. Even if they put awakened heroes in the faction scrolls, guys, they could put awakened heroes in here, which again would make it a lot easier to pick up copies of the awakened heroes. I would love to see it. I think that would be really cool to see if they put them in there. And again, just kind of going through a couple things that I would love to see. What's going on, Shady? Belinda will be my future nightmare. Yeah, Belinda used to be the carry. Guys, the awakened version of Belinda was the absolute carry in AFK Arena until you got Shamira. And then, of course, most players ran Belinda with Shamira because Belinda has that blessing effect that would bless Shamira. And they were the dynamic duo, guys. They would literally just crush everything. I'm stuck with building Awakened Taylene when she came out, and now wish we could get more swap scrolls. And I hope Trollmaster, they do that. I would absolutely love to see them do swap scrolls on a more consistent basis. I think, honestly, it would make a big, big difference. I still have my swap scroll here. But I would absolutely love to see them, again, make the availability for the older heroes on a consistent basis. I feel like that would be one of the absolute biggest game-changing things that Lilith could do, is giving us the ability to pick up some of the older heroes that we see within AFK Arena. I think it would be cool. I would like to see it. But got some summons in here, guys. Made some progression in the campaign. Finished out some peaks of time. Again, I wanted to hop on here. I was going to go through... I was looking at this. I wanted to, even right here, guys, class exclusive artifacts. I need to pick up the rest of the artifacts. I haven't even done that yet. Really been lazy on the free-to-play account, as you guys can see. Even looking at the Thrilling Voyage, I got to finish out the rest of these. Finished out most of them. We got 84 on the rescue, and this is actually where I stopped. Couple shy of picking up those last cards, which I definitely need for that awakened version of Belinda. And then, of course, the Silent Wasteland, I just got to finish out a couple more stages here to get the rest of the resources out of here. So we got a lot more. We got a lot more resources to pick out. What's better from this event? 240 Elite Stones, Superb Elite Stones, or the Common Scrolls? I always go for the Elite Stones. The big reason is the Celestials and the Hypogens. The Superb Elite Stones, 99% of the time, I don't get anything from those. And from these, I get copies of heroes I need. Personal preference, I do not get the Superb Elite Stones. I actually bought them out of the Noble Society. So I actually bought them on the YouTube account a couple times in here with the Elite Stones. Still don't see any. I even got them right here. I would pick the regular stones. I bought this out twice. We seen 0 awakened heroes from both times that I bought it out. I was hoping the increased little for the Celestials and the Hypogens were a little bit better. Didn't see that either. It would be really not much of a difference between both of those, unfortunately. But I would get the Elite Stones. You get a lot more Elite Stones, and especially if you are early game, guys, you need the Celestials and the Hypogens, but you also need the Elite Heroes. So definitely getting the Elite Stones out of there would be my choice. Now, before we're done, guys, I'm going to hop over. We're going to do our subscriber, our viewer membership. I love doing this. This is probably one of my favorite things to do as a give back to you guys. Let me hop over here and I will do our gifting of our membership. And again, this is kind of an off time, off stream, but I don't want to miss the opportunity, guys, to do one of our gifting memberships. And we got, of course, Legatron, a new subscriber in there. Still going to have our normal stream this Sunday. Again, just wanted to hop on, go through some of the free-to-play account. And Shadow Mastery, there you go, you free-to-play player. You have your gifting membership. So there is your little gift, your little hippo next to your name. So it's very cool to come in here and get through, again, looking at some of the content, getting through 38. I think I can get through 38, probably a couple more stages, if not a couple more chapters on this account, just due to the level. Most of the faction accounts are in here as well, but I definitely want to be pushing. And again, guys, I'm going to start focusing a lot more on the free-to-play account and the YouTube account. Running 8 accounts is a lot, so I'm really trying to limit it down to really focusing on those 2 accounts, primarily having the ability to go through, make more progression on the free-to-play account, make more progression on the YouTube account, getting into chapter 50, which should have happened a long time ago, but being able to really push the envelope as a free-to-play account, and then also as an account that we're putting a little bit of money into. I definitely want to focus on these 2 and build out everything. Just gambled with soul stones with my elder tree. I can't grow anymore. Yeah, soul stones, you never know. It is a shot in the dark, Shadow, for what you're going to get there. But guys, that'll do it for today's live stream. Again, thank you guys so much for joining me. I love being able to sit down and chat with you guys and hopping on at a very late, last-minute live stream for a lot of you. But I do want to try to change up the time that we do stream every now and then, just because I know a lot of people cannot join us on Sunday, cannot join us Sunday afternoon because of the time difference to where they live. So again, guys, thank you for joining me. Must have done a lot of Forest Mania. Yes, absolutely. Forest Mania, Shadow Invasion. I've done it on so many accounts. Same with the Peaks of Time. It has been kind of crazy. So guys, again, that'll do it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think. Free to play and the pay to win account are the 2 that we're really going to focus on. Oh, sorry, Triple B. Definitely going to have some more stuff coming, guys. I want to get the Rift Guide together in the next day or 2. That way I can get it out. But of course, wait till the end or towards the end to really build that beacon up as high as you can so you can make that progression in the Rift. So again, guys, that'll do it for today's stream. Thank you guys for joining me. And as always, thank you guys for watching.